This is the bracelet that we're going to make. And it's reversible. Here's the bracelet in another color scheme. And another. And here is where we have the same color seed bead and super duo, but different color crystals. Now let's talk about the materials we're going to need. For this bracelet, you're going to need 2 colors of super duos and 2 colors of 4mm crystals. I'm using bicone, but you could use round crystals as well. You're also going to need 11/0 seed beads. I'm going to be using Toho seed beads, but you could also use Czech seed beads. And you're going to need 2 6 or 8 seed beads for the jump rings to go through to attach the clasp. So, let's get started. I'm using a size 10 beading needle with about 2 meters of 6-pound fire line. And I'm going to start with the first color, super duo, checking both holes. 2 11/0s, a 6 or 8 seed bead, and 2 11/0s. And I'll string that on. Then I can go back up through all of those seed beads to form a loop. Then I can tie a knot. With my knot here in this corner between the super duo and seed bead, I'm going to continue through the super duo and the next seed bead. To make my first component, I'm going to add 9 super duos to the needle with seed beads in between. I'm alternating between the second color and the first color. I start and end with the second color, and so I have 5 of the second color and 4 of the first color super duos. And as I put them on the needle, I always check that both holes are open in the super duo. So after I've got that on my needle, I've got my thread coming up out of this seed bead. I want to go through the seed bead before that super duo and the super duo. And that forms a loop. I'll go through the other hole of that super duo that I'm coming out of. I'll add a seed bead, and I'll skip the next super duo, fold in the next one, and I'm working counterclockwise, so I want to go through this way. Add the next seed bead, skip the next super duo, fold in the next first color. Add a seed bead, skip the second color super duo and fold in the next first color super duo. Add a seed bead, skip the next second color super duo and fold in the next first color super duo. Add a seed bead and go through that first super duo again. Complete the round. I'm going to turn this sideways, and I'm coming out of that super duo, and I've just gone counterclockwise around to connect all the first color super duos to the center. I add a 4mm crystal, the first color, and I want to go up through the seed bead that's exactly opposite of the super duo that I'm coming out of. So I'll go up through the seed bead, back through the crystal, and down through the super duo. Here, I'll go through the other hole of that super duo and through the next seed bead and next super duo. Here I can flip it over. And now I'm going to fold in all the second color super duos. I start by going through the other hole of that super duo I'm coming out of. Add a seed bead, fold in the next super duo. Add a seed bead, fold in the next super duo. And on this side, notice that I am working clockwise on this other side. Add a seed bead, go through the next super duo. Add a seed bead, fold in the next super duo. Add a seed bead, and when I'm back at my first super duo, I go through the super duo and the next seed bead. Pull that tight. Now I'm ready to put the crystal on. Add a crystal, and I want to go down through the super duo that's opposite of the seed bead I'm coming out of. So go down through that super duo, back through the crystal, and up through that seed bead I was coming out of originally, plus the next super duo. I'll continue around the next 4 seed beads. Seed bead, super duo, and seed bead, super duo. Now I go through the other hole of that super duo I'm coming out of, plus the next seed bead. Now I'm ready to make the next link. I've got my thread pointing up out of this seed bead, and I'll add 2 seed beads, a first color super duo checking both holes, and 2 seed beads. And I want to go up through the seed bead before that super duo, the super duo, and the seed bead I'm coming out of. 3 beads total. 1, 2, and 3. I'll want to continue through the next 4 beads. Turn it around, continue through next 2 seed beads and super duo. That's 3, and the 4th bead. Pull that tight. Now we're ready to make another component. Okay. Next, with my thread coming up out of the seed bead, I add 9 more super duos. Again, checking both holes as I put them on the needle. And I'm alternating, starting and ending with the second color and alternating first colors with seed beads in between. Coming out of this seed bead, I want to go through the seed bead before that super duo and the super duo. And that forms a loop. I'll start by going through the other hole of that super duo I'm coming out of. And again, I'll work counterclockwise to connect all of every other super duo, which is a first color. Add a seed bead, go through the next, add a seed bead, go through the next one, add a seed bead, fold in the next one, add a seed bead, fold in the next one, add a seed bead, and back through the first one. Add the first color crystal and go up through the seed bead on the opposite side. Back through the and down through the super duo. Then I'll go through the other hole of that super duo, plus the next seed bead and super duo. And I can flip it over. And connect these super duos into the center. Start by going through the other hole of the super duo I'm coming out of. Add a seed bead, fold in the next super duo, add a seed bead, fold in the next superduo, add a seed bead, fold in the next one, add a seed bead, fold in the next one, add a seed bead, and when you're back at the first superduo, go through the superduo and the next seed bead. Pull that tight. Add the second color crystal and go down through the superduo opposite on the opposite side. Back through the crystal and up through the seed bead and the next superduo. Continue clockwise around the next 4 seed beads. Seed bead superduo, seed bead superduo. Then go through the other hole of that superduo I'm coming out of and the next seed bead. Now I'm ready to make the next link with my thread going up out of that seed bead. I'll add 2 seed beads, a first color superduo, checking both holes, and 2 more seed beads. And I want to go through the seed bead before that superduo, the superduo, and the seed bead. So I'm going through the first 2 and the third. And that forms a loop. I want to continue through the next 4 beads. I'll flip it over to do that. Going through the next 2 seed beads and superduo, and the next seed bead. I start my next component by adding 9 superduos, starting and ending with the second color, alternating first color and second color with seed beads in between. So I've got 5 of the second color and 4 of the first color superduos. Once I've got that on my needle, check both holes on all of them, I can go through the seed bead before the superduo and the superduo. And that forms a loop. Start by going through the other hole of the first color superduo and moving counterclockwise, connect all of the first color superduos to the center. Add a seed bead through the next first color. Add a seed bead through the next first color. Add a seed bead through the next first color. Add a seed bead and through the first one. Add a crystal and go up through the seed bead on the opposite side. Back through the crystal and down through the super duo. Note that you're always going up on seed beads and down on super duos when you're putting the crystal on, whether it's the front or the back. Next, I go through the other hole of the super duo in the next seed bead and super duo. Turn it over. Go through the other hole of the super duo I'm coming out of. Add a seed bead through the next super duo. Add a seed bead through the next super duo. Add a seed bead through the next super duo. Add a seed bead through the next super duo. Add a seed bead and through the first super duo next seed bead. Add the crystal, go down through the super duo on the other side, back through the crystal, and up through the seed bead in the next super duo. Continue around the next 4 beads, 1, 2, 3, 4, and through the other hole of the super duo and seed bead. So I'll continue making a link component until I have made 11 or 12 components. 11 components will make about a 7¼ inch bracelet with the clasp, and 12 will make about a ½ inch longer than that. If you want it shorter, just do 10 of these components. So I'm going to go to 11, and then I'll show you how to finish off the bracelet. Okay, I finished 11 components. I'm at the point where I would start another link if I was going to make the bracelet longer, but instead of making the next link, I have my thread pointing up out of that seed bead. Instead of making a link, I'll put on an 11/0, a 6 or 8 seed bead, and an 11/0 to finish off the bracelet. And I'll go up through the seed bead before the super duo, and the next seed bead. So I'm going through the first 2 there, and continue through the next seed bead. I'll continue through those seed beads I just added. And back through those 3 seed beads again. I can kind of weave my thread back through the piece a little bit before I tie a knot. So I'm just going through some beads on the outside and going through the other hole of the super duo to change directions. Change directions one more time. And once I've turned enough corners and gone through enough beads, here's where I can tie a knot. So I'll put my needle under the thread between the beads. So I've got my thread between the needle, or the thread between the two seed beads. Go through the loop once and through the loop twice and pull. Now I just need to snip both ends and add the clasp. Okay, I've snipped both ends of the thread and I'm ready to attach my clasp. So I take my jump ring and I open it. I feed it through the large seed bead, add the clasp, and close it. The other side just needs a jump ring, so I open that, feed it through the large seed bead, and close it. Now we have a working clasp. And you can wear it with this side or this side. And that is our finished bracelet.